President Trump this morning on a Monday has threatened legal action over a bill passed by the Nevada legislature. Of course, we're talking about mail-in ballots, and we're taking your phone calls at 702-257-5396. Before we get to those phone calls, those people that are against mail-in ballots, I just want to read a few names here quickly before we get back to the calls. Donald Trump voted absentee in New York in 2018 and in Florida's March primary. Attorney General Barr voted absentee in 2019 and 2012 in Virginia. Vice President Mike Pence voted absentee in 2018. The White House press secretary Kayleigh voted by mail in Florida 11 times in 10 years. The Trump campaign manager Brad Parcell, he didn't vote at all in 2016. He said because there was a series of problems getting his absentee ballot in. And then in 2018, he voted by mail. Ivanka Trump attempted a vote absentee in New York in 2017. Same thing with Melania Trump. She attempted to vote absentee. The Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar voted absentee in 2018. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross voted absentee in Florida 15 times in the last 15 years. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos has permanent absentee status in Michigan. The Republican National Committee Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel voted absentee in Michigan in 2016, 17, 18, and 2020. The White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway voted absentee in New Jersey back in 2018. Jared Kushner requested an absentee ballot for the New York mayoral election in 2017. Donald Trump's very own campaign chief operating officer voted by mail repeatedly in New Jersey in recent years, including the campaign deputy chief, Bill Stepien, voted mail repeatedly, and Trump campaign senior advisor Dick Ayers has voted by mail in Georgia since 2014. I just thought I would make that public for everybody. We will get back to your phone calls right now at 702.
What's that supposed to accomplish,
257.
Absentee ballot is totally different than a mail-in ballot.
702-257-5396.
A universal mail-in ballot
is the number
you
to call.
request an absentee ballot, and everyone across the country, whether they're a politician, a celebrity, a prominent, any type of public figure, you can request an absentee ballot.
All right, what do you guys think out there?
This is literally sending every single person in particular states two ballots, just like the caller from Denver suggested. That's totally different than in advance requesting an absentee ballot.
Basically, the entire Trump administration has done that. 257-5396 is the number to call. We got a lot of people on hold, so let's get to those calls now. Let's go to Paul. Paul, you are first up on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Paul?
Hey, guys. Welcome back, JD.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll tell you something that concerns me about with the Democrats and the mail-in ballot is I heard President Obama in the last speech he was given at the funeral that he was basically saying that it's racist to require somebody to have an ID to vote. That they wanted to have no ID.
All right, let's go with that. Paul. Let me ask you a question. Paul. Okay. Do you believe it would be true that if there was no mail-in voting, that it could stop African Americans from voting or limit it? Is that true? Yes or no?
Why would it?
Why would it? Well, there are minorities throughout the country that do not have the same pay grade as others.
Okay,
I'm trying to answer his question.
Why can't those particular individuals request an absentee ballot? Why can't they do that?
You got to let me at least answer his question first before you ask me a question. Okay, the question that I was answering was why African Americans, and I tried to answer your question. There are minorities throughout the country that don't have the financial capabilities of being able to go to where these actual polling places are. That's just a fact. So the reason why Obama is bringing that up, because it would absolutely suppress many African Americans and minorities in this country from voting. The answer is yes.
But why can't they just request an absentee ballot, Brian?
Some could request an absentee ballot.
No, not some. All could. But every single one of those people that you just described, regardless of race, could definitely, if they wanted to,
there are a lot of people,
request an absentee ballot.
And there are a lot of people in this country that will not do that for whatever reason. And I believe if you mail them these mail-in ballots, I believe there's a chance that
so you expose the rest of the country to fraud by
that's your opinion.
Doing that.
That's your opinion.
And you're also acting like there's not polling booths in low-income areas across the United States. There most certainly are.
Didn't say there weren't. That's not what I said. I didn't say there weren't polling centers. But Republicans could easily commit fraud just as much as Democrats could. But I just gave you all those in the Trump administration that have done mail-in ballot.
Right. And you compared. Well, you basically you equated absentee ballot voting to forced mail-in ballot
So we
voting.
have a lot of
different things entirely.
We have a lot of people on hold, so I want to try to get to as many calls as I can. Let's go to Jerry. Jerry is next on the Vegas Take. What's up, Jerry?
Hey, what's up, Jerry?
Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, listen, the mail-in ballot. I think it's for the Democrat for Donald Trump to win the election in 2020. That's why they're casting about the mail-in ballot.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble following you. Can you repeat that?
I think it's got a lot to do with the Democrats are covering up for Donald Trump.
The
for
Democrats.
The mail-in ballot.
The Democrats are covering up for Donald Trump. That makes a lot of sense, sir. I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that's what they're preaching.
So
about.
the Democrats want Donald Trump to win. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's.
Well,
what
that
it
makes
is.
a lot of sense, Jerry. I appreciate the phone call. Some shows might keep you on for 5 minutes with an opinion like that, but we don't
good
do
call,
that.
Jerry.
702-257-5396. You hear something new every day on this show. Sean, keep that call. Well, let me ask you, Sean, do you think we should keep that phone call for our Friday segment, Dumbest Caller of the Week, Sean? What do you think?
So far, but it's only Monday. We'll let it breathe for a little bit.
That's true. Sean, I want to put you on the air on this show every day. Is that okay?
I think it's possible that call could win.
Yes, I think that could be a winner.
Definitely could win.
That was a pretty bad take, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Let's go to Howard. Howard, you're next on the Vegas take. Howard, what's going on, man?
Hey, Howard.
Hey, guys, I'm going to try not to win the dumbest caller of the week.
Good.
I just thought, if we just step back and just assume everyone is out for their own interest, they all have their own incentives. Just sit back and think about what those incentives are and cut through the baloney. I think we all know that the more people who vote, the better chance that the Democrats will win. That's just a fact. It's usually the case.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you there.
Yeah, and so then you think, and especially now, Biden is up 5-10%.
No, he's not. No, he's not at
you
all.
are.
The polls have changed significantly in the last month. Trump has made up some huge ground.
Donald Trump is winning.
Rasmussen has him at 51. He just
Rasmussen is the worst poll
They're
in the
not
world
the
for you
worst
to
poll,
quote.
Brian.
Yes, they are.
Just because they're not CNN or Quinnipiac doesn't mean they're the worst
Okay.
poll in the world. You may not like Rasmussen. That's fine.
So go
doesn't
after
mean they're the
Quin-
worst, though, Brian.
so go
Don't be biased in that regard.
So go after
Brian. Quinnipiac.
Okay, he won't let me
Quinnipiac
respond.
showed Biden had a 14-point lead and only polled 24% of Republicans.
Okay,
Brian.
so
that's
other
an
than-
absolute embarrassing joke.
So the only poll that you brought up is Rasmussen. That's the definition of embarrassing. So let me ask you a question, JD. What other poll other than your Rasmussen poll, which has zero credibility, shows that Donald Trump is beating Joe Biden? Go. Give me one other poll, JD, beside Rasmussen. Thank you. Silence is
Well, no, you're trying to say that the Rasmussen poll means nothing, and you're saying the
name me
ABC,
one other poll,
Quinnipiac, CBS
and
polls.
I'm asking you to name me one other poll other than Rasmussen that shows that Donald Trump is beating Joe
It
Biden.
also says that
notice
how he
Donald
can't
Trump
is going to have the highest African American turnout
That must be Rasmussen also.
by a long shot.
Maybe that's
in
an
almost
OA.
20 years for a Republican candidate.
Maybe that's an OAN poll.
It's not an OAN
again,
poll, Brian.
I'm asking you
Trust
to name me.
Donald Trump is going to wipe the floor with Joe Biden in November.
I know.
It will
He's
not
going to
even
win
be
45
close.
states.
In fact, Biden is declining so much cognitively that he will be out of the race by September 1st.
Sure. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, he quoted the Rasmussen poll. I asked him to name one other poll that is showing Donald Trump defeating Joe Biden right now. He couldn't do it. There you go.
That means absolutely nothing, Brian.
Checkmate. No, it means
It's
you
not
don't
a
have it.
checkmate.
It means that's the only poll you have that you're sourcing, which is a joke.
How is that a joke?
702-257-5396 is the number to call. Who's next here? Let's go to Kevin. Kevin has been waiting patiently on hold. Kevin, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Kevin?
Hey, guys. Yeah. No, I just wanted to say that I don't think that the Republicans are in any position to kind of – because you guys are full of voter suppression, stopping Democrats from voting. This is an opportunity. How? Because you move the voting posts, you shrink the voting areas for minority areas to vote, and then also the fact that most of all the fraud has been found in Republican states and or people that have been found guilty of it have been Republican. Now, the thing of it is that this law that went into effect, it helps people to be able to vote. We're in a pandemic, so this is the only option that we have.
No, it's
people
not.
will not come out to vote and stand in these long lines.
Kevin, you can easily request an absentee ballot before the pandemic took place.
So
Anybody can do that. Anyone can do that.
If Republicans care so much about everybody voting, why don't you just, instead of just making one option, make multiple options? You can open up stadiums. You can make more access to more voting booths. This last election out here in Vegas, I was waiting in line for 3 hours just to vote, okay? and it's not necessary. People need to be able to get in and get out. You know what time it is.
People actually waited till 3:30 in the morning at several.
Exactly.
There was definitely not enough locations, but that had nothing to do with Republicans.
We do this every year. We do this all the time.
Nevada is a Democratic governed state. That was Governor Steve Sisolak who created that problem.
The nation. The Republicans constantly keep shrinking their people.
What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Wisconsin, Ohio, Detroit. You move the voting posts to areas where people can't get to, okay? And then after you get there, you got a line clear around 2 city blocks, 3 city blocks, 500 people waiting in line. And now you have a pandemic, and Republicans are not trying to do anything to better the situation. You could open up football stadiums and social distance through the roof, and people would be able to do it. But you will not assist in any way, shape, or form to help people to vote. You don't want people to vote. You want to shrink the vote. You know that most people have to work, and they can't wait in line for 10, 12 hours. Only people that can vote are Trump supporters, probably they're unemployed, retired, and everything.
I'm sorry, what?
They're just retired, crazy people that will wait in line for 12
You're projecting. The exact opposite is taking place with Democrats and Republicans there.
See this clown, okay?
All right, Robert, we appreciate the phone call.
Kevin,
I'm sorry, Kevin.
Good call. Again, Biden is going to get trounced by Trump in November. It will not be close.
Completely disagree. How many states is Trump going to win?
I think he gets at least 400 electoral votes right now.
How many states do you think he wins?
Anywhere from 33 plus.
33 plus. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were, because you've given a bigger number to me before. So you're saying 33. You think he wins 33?
That's 66% of the states, Brian.
No, I know. I'm just asking you.
All right.
33? Okay, I disagree with you.
That's fine.
702-257-5396. Go to Robert. Robert is next on the Vegas Take. Robert, what's going on?
Hey,
man?
what's up, Robert?
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. Hey, listen, real quick. I don't know. I've been voting 40, 50 years already. Never had a problem at the polling places. I find it hard to believe that people are voting in districts that it's so hard to vote.
Yeah, but I don't
Robert, there is something.
When you can request to vote by mail. But this general mail, I'll tell you something. Last election, if we had a general mail thing and the wives were looking over the shoulders of how the husbands were voting, who do you think would be in the White House right now?
Well, I think you need a different wife then, because if you open up your mail, Robert, when you open up your mail and your wife is looking over your shoulder, I think you need to find a new wife.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of them out there. Let me tell you.
Okay, well, you need to find another wife then. That's a little bit nosy, if you ask me.
Well, if you share finances, it's not that nosy, Brian, and that's what married couples do.
So
as a single guy, you would understand
that's
definitely not unusual for
I've
your
been
wife.
engaged before.
For your wife to be having that conversation with you about paying your bills and what's going on and what's coming to you. That she's actually watching you open with your mail.
He didn't say having a conversation about finances. I said every single time you open your mail and you have your wife looking over your shoulder, I think that's a little bit bizarre, and I think that's an extreme. Appreciate the call, Robert. Thank you.
Yeah, and you're saying that if your wife is looking over your shoulder when you open your mail, you should get a divorce.
You probably shouldn't be married to someone that's always looking over your shoulder. That doesn't sound like a very healthy relationship.
You're assuming every single time.
Hey, maybe JD, maybe your wife doesn't look over your shoulder. That's great. Or maybe she does. I don't know. All I'm saying is if you're married to someone
it wouldn't bother me if she did.
Okay, well, guess what?
We share our finances.
Okay.
We make a lot of decisions together.
That's your opinion. I'm just saying I don't want to have a relationship or married to someone that is always looking over my shoulder.
By the way, we haven't talked about this, but New York City had a primary on June 23rd. And they're still counting ballots through August. And the New York Post New York Times actually came out with an article today and discussed how big of an issue it was with this particular election. There are 2 of those primaries that are not finished yet. Usually they have 5% of New York City votes absentee ballot. Almost 25% voted absentee ballot, and it was such a massive influx of votes that they have not been able to count everything. So you're going to have that issue as well. And on a national scale, this thing, it could take 3 or 4 months after November 3rd before we even know who the president is.
Could take 3 or 4 months for Donald Trump to get his fat ass out of the White House.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
702-257-257. Well, what you said's not relevant.
Of course, 257. What I'm saying, it'll take.
I'm trying to get back to the phone calls.
It'll be a totally hung election. You will have no idea who actually won what for months on end.
Okay.
And honestly, Nancy Pelosi on January 21st, she would be the new president under those circumstances if a winner is not named by that time.
Absolutely, positively, 100% not going to happen. 257-5396, the number to call. Who's next here? Why don't we go to Joe? Joe, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Hey, fellas. How you doing this morning?
What's on your mind?
Hey, I just wanted to make sure, did that gentleman from last Friday, did he finish his manifesto that you let him read over the air? I was just wondering about that. I don't think you'd allow somebody who was a little center right to allow to go off like that.
So for listeners that have no idea what you're talking about, Joe, on Friday we had a man who videoed the two.
JD, did you know about it?
No idea.
I wasn't here. Let me just give people a little bit of background, Joe, because there are some people that don't know what you're talking about. We had somebody who videoed two mask-wearing Nazis who were wearing Nazi masks that walked into a supermarket. Obviously, he's a liberal guy, and he gave his 30-second speech to Donald Trump. He's obviously
30 seconds.
okay.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, so you had a problem with that, Joe?
I sure do.
Okay, well, guess what?
Do.
Tough. I don't care.
But I know it's your show, my man. I understand.
Okay,
that.
so why are you bringing that up? What don't you want to talk about?
I just wanted to make sure he was done. That's all. But
it's Monday. I mean, that's a very funny joke you just made, Joe. But it's Monday, so please go ahead. Don't quit your J job.
You're that I listen to you on a regular basis. I mean, give me some credit, my man.
I appreciate you listening to us on a regular basis, and I'm so sorry that somebody for 1 minute said some bad things about Trump. I'm so sorry that hurt your feelings.
I don't mind about the
no, I greatly apologize, Joe. I'm sorry.
Maybe you should mind.
What's that?
That he compared the Confederacy to Nazis. I mean, come on, my man. Come on. How could you allow that?
So, first of all, okay, so I'll answer your question. First of all, yes, we know the neo-Nazis killed 7 million people. We also know that the Confederate flag represents slavery. And last I checked,
no, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Okay, so now you want to call in. So let me get this right.
It's a way of
life. It's a way of life. Okay, so let me get this right, Joe. Let me get this right. You're calling into this show, and you had a problem with a liberal for 1 minute bashing Donald Trump. But on the other side, you're defending the Confederate flag, saying that it doesn't represent slavery. Do you realize how ignorant you sound? 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Maria. Maria, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Maria?
Hi, good morning. This is my first time tuning in. And I just wanted to say that just because people support Trump, I mean, you shouldn't generalize that.
What am I generalizing? What did I generalize about Trump support?
Not just you. I'm saying just anybody in general.
Okay.
And,
okay, well, I'm not generalizing. I think there are probably a lot of smart people out there that are supporting Donald Trump.
Not probably, definitely.
Okay, well, there's also a lot of ignorant racists that support Donald Trump as well. It goes both ways.
And there's a lot of communists that support Joe Biden.
A lot of people that's like their only argument. And
no, it's not my only argument. No, it's not my only argument. You keep saying people. I think Donald Trump is a horrible.
Unless you want to,
well, I think Donald. No, I think there are.
A bunch of them are idiots.
Well, I think there are some idiots that support Donald Trump, and I think there are some people that think they'll save.
I think everybody else is just mad because the silent majority is way, bigger than all these crazy ass.
All right, so Maria, did the silent? Hold on a second.
The silent majority isn't. It's not even a silent majority right now. You literally have people that are being called by pollsters and surveys, and they are lying about who they're going to vote for.
All right, so let's go to what Maria just said.
They're literally
Can I respond?
lying about voting for a Democrat, or they're saying that they're undecided when they're going to vote for Donald Trump. It's bigger than a silent majority.
Maria, did the silent majority vote for Donald Trump in 2016? Yes or no? Did the silent majority vote? Now you're silent. Did the silent majority vote for Donald Trump? What a shock.
The answer is yes.
The answer is no. No, what are you talking about?
The answer is yes.
What are you talking about? Hillary Clinton won the popular vote.
Do you know why?
Oh, God. Here we go again with another conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy theory, Brian. Do you know why? Because
because more people went to the polls and voted for Hillary Clinton. Maybe that's why.
Because she won California by 4 million votes.
The majority of people in this country.
That is the only reason why she won the popular vote. That's the only reason why.
I'll repeat it again.
That's not a conspiracy theory, Brian.
I don't care.
So don't jump down my throat. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I don't care what state it happened in. I'm stating facts. The majority of the people in this country voted for Hillary Clinton. That is not a silent majority.
Yes.
257-5396 is the number to call. I speak facts. Let's go to Dave. Dave, you are next up on the Vegas Take. Dave. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Obama said they're close polling place, right?
Okay, Dave, I need you to get off your Obama
I can't
phone.
Hear you, Dave.
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't hear a word you're saying. Get off your Obama phone. I did hear Obama in there. 257-5396. Let's go to Glenn. Glenn is next on the Vegas Take. Glenn, what's up?
Hey, Glenn.
Hey, how you doing? I just wanted to say that about Trump, the only reason, well, not the only reason, but the main reason he won this last time was because a lot of people like me supported him because we wanted a Republican to select a Supreme Court justice.
Okay.
without that, he would have never won. And a lot of those people, like myself, will not be voting for him this time.
Tell us why, Glenn. I know it's a loaded question.
I don't think I have to. I think, like I said, I wouldn't have voted for Trump before, but he just happened to be the Republican.
Sure, no, I understand. Glenn, let me be clear, Glenn. I think
as a person, I wouldn't vote for that guy for dog catching.
Glenn, let me be clear. If Joe Biden wins, and I don't know if he's going to win, but if he wins, it's going to be because of people like you. Make no mistake about it. That's just a fact. If Donald Trump wins, if Donald Trump loses, it's not going to be because of voter fraud. It's not going to be because of the media. They could bring up every excuse in the book, and it's going to be people like Glenn.
Voter fraud will be a major reason why.
Of course.
If what happened here, or what is trying to happen here in Nevada happens nationwide.
I agree, because there's no chance that Trump could lose legitimately. I completely agree with you, Glenn. I appreciate the phone call, my man. Thank
Glenn,
you. No problem.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg is going to be most likely. I mean, she's had some serious health issues for the last couple of years. She just got out of the hospital again last week. So this next election is going to bring another Supreme Court justice. Just keep that in mind.
257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Dylan. Dylan is next on the Vegas Take.
Yeah,
hey Dylan.
You guys have a great show. It would be just so much better if you can mute Brian's microphone.
Dylan, Dylan, that's what your wife does to you every night. Your wife mutes you every night. Yeah, whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. Dylan, that's a great take, buddy.
Create, and Joe Thornton is still a douchebag. Thank you.
No, you're the douchebag, Dylan. Have a nice day. I'm sorry you're suffering a midlife crisis. Don't blame it on me. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Joel is next. Joel, what's going on?
Hey, Joel.
Hey, guys. It's Joel.
Oh, it's Joel. Yeah,
sorry
come
about
on,
that.
Joel. He's called in at least 50 times.
That's correct. JD, I wanted to ask you about something Trump said 2 weeks ago to Chris Wallace.
Healthcare?
He promised.
Healthcare?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see it as well.
Let him ask the question. Go ahead, Joel.
I know the question.
Why? What he promised a health care plan within the next 2 weeks, and it's been 15 days now, and we haven't heard a single word about it.
Why is that, JD?
Why doesn't that concern you?
Well, hopefully he comes out with it very soon.
Why doesn't that concern you?
Why would it concern me?
Because he made a promise and he broke it. That's like a lie, isn't it?
And Republicans have been whining about Obamacare for like 11 and a half years.
Right. It completely skyrocketed premiums, and it really made it hard for small businesses to operate.
So where's his plan?
I agree. I'd like to see the plan as well. I'm on the same page as you are.
I would bet you my paycheck versus yours to go to your charity of your choice or mine that he doesn't have a plan, and I just flat out lied.
Yeah, he has a plan, just like he took hydroxychloroquine.
He definitely took hydroxychloroquine, Brian. That's not a lie.
I'm sure he's been taking hydro.
Definitely took hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, he takes hydro like he's in great shape and he's not obese and he can lift 400 pounds. Joel, you made a great.
The fact of the matter is, it's just simply another lie by Trump that the Republicans and Trump supporters gloss over, don't care about, ignore, but yet they're concerned with any little thing that a Democrat says.
Joel, you're not going to get an argument from me, man. I agree with you, Joel, and I appreciate the phone call. Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, good call,
it's
Joel.
2 weeks ago. It's been 2 weeks, by the way. It's been 2 weeks since Donald Trump said that he was going to come up with a new health care plan.
In all fairness, he did say 3 weeks ago that he would have something for DACA in the coming weeks, and he did that last week. So hopefully he gets something this week done. Hopefully he says something about whatever the health care plan is, because people definitely did notice him saying that to Chris Wallace. I'm one of them. Obviously, Joel is, and so are you. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners are as well.
All right, so my headphones have decided just to stop working. So I will not be able to hear a caller. I will not be able to hear anybody. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I've had issues with my headphones since the start of the show, so we're going to have to get a new set of headphones for Mr. Shapiro. So otherwise, Mr. Shapiro will be on mute, and maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. That might be a good thing. I don't know. But here's what we're going to do. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what took place on Capitol Hill on Friday. A very interesting exchange with Mr. Jim Jordan and Dr. Fauci. You're not going to want to miss this when we come back. And also, Dr. Fauci trying to be, put in a corner when it comes to hydroxychloroquine. He talked a little bit about those studies as well. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we will be going over what took place on Capitol Hill on Friday with Dr. Fauci. That and much, much more. Take a break. Be back right after this. You are listening to The Vegas Take.